Well, a looming ban on TikTok in the United States is quickly approaching. This after lawmakers expressed concerns that it's a threat to national security.
The company, though, says the law would restrict speech in violation of the First Amendment. But for thousands of content creators, including many locally, it's a full-time job. Kristen Burnell has more on how a ban could impact the almost 170 million TikTok users in America.
I know it seems like we're just making silly videos, but it is a full-time job, and it does require a lot of time, attention, and effort.
The clock is ticking as the fate of TikTok remains up in the air for Americans.
I've spent 4.5 years on this app trying to create a career out of it. So for that main source of income, exposure, and platform to just be pulled from underneath me is kind of gut-wrenching.
Earlier this month, a U.S. appeals court upheld a law that would ban TikTok in the U.S. starting January 19th, unless the China-based parent company agrees to sell it.
The way people consume on TikTok is very different than Instagram and Facebook and X and YouTube, so you're not always going to have the same appeal on these different platforms. You know, the algorithm is what's made TikTok what it is.
On Wednesday, the Supreme Court agreed to hear arguments by TikTok on January 10th about whether the law restricts speech in violation of the First Amendment.
Well, the reason why the government is forcing the sale of TikTok and requiring a separation between TikTok and China is the incredible amount of data that the company collects on individuals who are using the platform. You don't know how that data could be used.
Rhode Island's own Ian Brownhill has gained 1.5 million followers on the social media app, turning it into a full-time job.
I feel like there's not enough information that I'm receiving as a content creator, as someone who utilizes the platform, to fully understand exactly why they feel that there is a threat for the American people. But there's also that part of me that understands that if there is a real threat coming from having our data out there and they could show it to us, I would be on board.
Congressman Jim Langevin, who sat on the House Intelligence Committee for 8 years, tells us the app does pose a security threat.
You don't know how that data could be used down the road. It could be a national security threat. It could be used to track people and their families.
President-elect Donald Trump pledged to save TikTok during his campaign and met with the company's CEO on Monday, but those details are limited. In the newsroom, Kristen Burnell, 12 News.